Hello and welcome to Kickstarter Conniption. I'm Ryan and this is my wife Katie, and we'll be filling in for Kevin and Melissa today. Today we're going to talk about Portals of Pangaea. It is a 2 to 4 player board game with a fantasy RPG theme coming to Kickstarter March 14th.
Now in this game, you each control a team of heroes, and in that you are trying to be the first one to either kill a dragon, claim 3 gold tiles, or just be the last team standing. But none of that is as easy as it sounds because you're dealing with your other teams, moving map tiles, and don't forget those fire-breathing dragons.
The components you see here are prototype components. Portals of Pangaea uses a board of individual map tiles. The tiles have different obstacles that you have to deal with as you move your characters around the map. 2 notable ones are the Dragon's Caves, where they store their gold, and portal tiles that allow you to move to other portal tiles.
At the beginning of the game, you are randomly dealt 4 heroes to use. The heroes have stats for hit points, attack, defense, movement, and range, just as you would in an RPG. Everything here is simplified to these stats, with no other modifiers except for rolling a d20 to add to your attacks.
At the start of your turn, you get a randomly determined event, and this can be anything from a +3 to your hero's range to rotating a map tile of your choice. Then, you can move each hero in your party to set up for actions or attacks.
But watch out! The dragons get to attack first, and every hero within range of any dragon gets attacked. So, even while it isn't your turn, you may be getting hit. This isn't as bad as it seems though, because each time you're attacked, you can move farther in on the board, or you can attack back.
Which means you very well may win the game while it's not your turn. Players actually have very few turns during the game, so you're almost as busy on other people's turns as you are on your own.
In fact, most of the strategy of this game comes in on what your heroes are doing when it's not your turn. You can plan as much as you want, but for the crazy things that happen in Portals of Pangaea, you have to just move on to plan B, which could include dropping your gold and running over to deal a death blow to a dragon before somebody else does.
Players who are familiar with tabletop RPGs will find the math in this game a little more familiar, but it might be less accessible to other players. The game is a little mathy, and it could use a little more flavor and story-like elements to the game, and I believe the designer said that part of the Kickstarter will be to include those parts.
The art for this is actually really cool. The artist has done a kind of a neat mix between fantasy and steampunk style, and the dragons just look really cool.
Overall, this board game isn't for newbies, but if you do like RPGs, it may be for you. It's a good sort of bridge between those two worlds of board games and RPGs. Check out Portals of Pangaea on Kickstarter.